Hi everyone, welcome to Outgrow's Marketer of the Month. I'm your host Saksham Sharda. I'm the creative director at Outgrow, and I have with me here my co-host Anushka Chopra, who is the social media and outreach analyst at Outgrow. And for this month, we're going to interview Nadav Dakner, who is the CEO of InboundJunction, and he's just going to introduce himself now.
Hey guys, nice to meet everyone. So my name is Nadav and I'm the CEO of InboundJunction. We are basically a content marketing, PR, and SEO agency based out of Tel Aviv, Israel. And what we do is we work with startups and well-established businesses on boosting their online visibility, help them with social growth, help them become more, let's say, indexed on various keywords on Google, and just overall boosting their reputation and branding. So we've been doing this for quite a long time. I would say 7 years now, working many different niches and specializing, I would say, in tech, blockchain, B2B, that kind of stuff. So yeah.
So, what is it like to have a startup in Israel? What is the scene
Um,
like? How it-
yeah, so Israel is actually, the startup scene is very prominent. So we have, I think, maybe the biggest startup per capita, like per person. Um, we have basically a very like open mentality to that. So lots of people try multiple times and fails. We have a lot of VCs here. It's very very in our culture, I would say. So we're not afraid to fail, and also I mean it's also very mainstream, but also because we're a very small country, most of our like we have to innovate. That's one thing, and the second thing is that we always think big because our market is quite small. So our startups are almost always like aim to go global. So I think with that mentality and the fact that we have to innovate, being so small and uh, being very reliant on tech, then it's a very big scene here. So it's very common, like if you ask around the street, what do you do? You have a lot of, oh, I had a startup, or I just paid an exit, so now I'm resting or whatever. So yeah, it's very common here.
Yeah, it sounds pretty cool and exciting, competitive as well.
Oh,
So,
very.
the format of the webinar is such that we're going to begin with the rapid fire round right now. So, I'm going to start a clock so that you get an urgency
Sure.
into the answers. And Anushka is going to ask the first question, and then I'm going to ask the next one, and we're going to keep going on like that. Okay?
Okay, so one word answers.
Uh,
Yeah, just one
yeah,
word
one word
answer.
answers, or like a sentence,
All
max a
right,
sentence,
let's
but
try.
one word preferably. Okay, so here we go.
Okay, so I'm going to begin. What do you prefer, texting or talking?
Um, Talking.
Okay, so how long does it take you to get ready in the morning?
I would say an hour.
An hour,
Okay.
okay.
Instagram or Facebook?
Um, Instagram. Lately, Instagram. Yeah.
Okay. Nickname your parents used to call you by.
You can say maybe Nadi.
Nadi, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, this one's tough. Neil Patel or Gary Vaynerchuk?
Neil Patel. We're actually pretty
Okay.
tight with him, so that's an easy one.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, fill in the blank. Marketing is dash.
Life, for me at least.
Oh, wow. That was beautiful.
I know. Yeah. Books or movies?
Movies.
Okay. Last song you downloaded.
Uh, um, I really forgot the name of it, but
You
um,
can sing it.
Ready to Roar, if you know this one.
Ready to what?
To roar, like let me tell you,
Okay. Mhm.
Okay. A digital watch or an analog watch?
analog, easy.
Mhm.
The
Okay.
band is Switch,
How
but
many tabs do you?
Treat, by the way. That's the name of the band. Just recall, Treat.
Uh-huh. Okay. All right. I haven't heard of it, but anyway, how many tabs do you have open on your browser
Yeah.
on an average?
Dozens. like let's say 20.
Dozens. Like
Yeah.
20. Okay. Okay.
My goodness, I can
Next.
relate. Okay, at what age do you want to retire?
Um, 60.
Okay. What is something that you believe that other people think is insane?
Having a normal job, being hired
Okay.
employee.
That was a great answer as well,
Yeah,
considering what you told us about the Israeli startup scene. So
yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
It's so in our mindset.
okay, so that's yeah. Okay. That's the end of the rapid fire round. So now we'll just move on to the bigger questions now that we have broken the ice and gotten to know each other
Yeah.
and the fact that
Sure.
you use an analog watch. Okay, so Anushka, you want to ask the first question?
Yeah, sure. So, Nadav, you talked about InboundJunction, the company that you're the CEO of, and if you had to explain it to someone who just started a business, how would you explain the phrase inbound junction? Just the phrase to begin with. How
So,
do yeah.
so when we first created the company about 7 years ago, people just started to speak about inbound marketing, and we actually took a look, and there was many phrases being developed, like content marketing was starting to be big. People moving from banners, due to
Hmm.
banner blindness and everything, to focusing on content, and then inbound marketing. So we wanted a name to mention that in a way, and also having an affiliate background 10 years ago, which is how I started, then just the word commission junction came to mind as well. So we just made which is the biggest affiliate network. So we just kind of made a combination of it, and it just sounded good. So we just wanted the word inbound marketing to be present, or content marketing, and we just chose that because it sounds better, I guess. So
Yeah,
so
that
that,
makes
that that's
complete
how we
sense.
made it up.
Okay.
And why junction? Why junction specifically
just
as the word?
just just because actually my partner picked that just because of, I
Hmm.
guess, commission junction, that it was kind of like in the back of our mind maybe, but also, if you think about it, a junction is like the intersection of a few different maybe channels, and the way we do
Hmm.
marketing, we have a very integrated approach. So we don't just do content, we do PR, we do promotions on Reddit, we do like a product on promotion, we do SEO. So I guess also like creating various promotions, like cross channel promotions,
Hmm.
is maybe something else. So that kind of hints it too, but I don't know if people just they have it in the back of their mind or not. But that was
Hmm.
one reason why also we picked that. Our
Because a
logo
lot of
is, by
companies,
the
like for
way,
instance, yeah,
yeah,
go
I'm
ahead.
just
Yeah.
I'm just saying, our logo, by the way, kind of shows you that some
I
intersections.
Yeah,
see.
yeah. Yeah, now you
Okay.
get it when you explain it. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is what like we wanted to like explain it to like someone who's just joined marketing. So yeah, I
Hmm.
think that was a good explanation. Which is also like a lot of companies like HubSpot has like, spot in the name. So or hub itself means something like that, like a junction.
Right.
So yeah, uh, it kind of fits with the theme of the companies we see.
Hmm.
Cool. So well, the next question is Anushka, do you want to ask something?
No, I'll just ask you. So basically, like you were saying, Inbound Junction helps other brands to build and market their business online, right? But if I
Very
had to
limited
ask
time.
you,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So if I had to ask you to review your company with an unbiased eye, as hard as that might be, what do you like or dislike about the way that you market your company's services to the world?
So actually, this is a great question. And the actual answer is that, but we could be much more visible. Um, the fact of the matter is, now we're trying to be more, let's say, less backstage and more front, because we have a lot of work all the time, and we are very focused on delivering campaigns to our clients and fulfill like whatever their KPIs. So whether it's link building, SEO, reputation, branding, whatever, we are very focused towards our clients. So you can say that we've kind of neglected that. And that's a very good channel, by the way, to acquire clients, like to be very visible. So our brand is actually quite strong, but it's not strong because we promote it. It's strong because we do good work, and people talk about us, like not online, but refer people to each other, or refer like happy clients, or anything like that. But we are actually in 2019 trying a lot to kind of grow our brand too, like online, and we've started doing that. We've started a blog now. We're going to many events. We're sponsoring events, so we're kind of, now that we have a very good track record, we're kind of expanding that. So yeah, so it could be better. We chose an approach which first, like, satisfies our client, I guess, and then puts us like after, versus a lot of agencies that I know that kind of boast all the time that they're great. We'll kind of let our actions and results speak.
Speak for
So, but
yourself,
I
right?
guess we could be better. This is something we're working on.
So, what kind of events are you guys sponsoring? You mentioned you're
Uh,
sponsoring events now.
yeah, so we're either co-hosting, like speaking in panels, or helping with the sponsorships, or helping with the attendance and marketing events. But we're quite big in the blockchain and crypto verticals. We have we've been working with really the biggest of the biggest, in terms of blockchains and exchanges and things like that. And so that's one vertical where we kind of participate a lot with events and sponsorships and marketing for events. But we are also very strong, and have been for the past 7 years, deeply involved with SaaS companies. So anything B2B SaaS is, I would say, our specialty, whether it's marketing tech, like IoT, big data, AI. We're very big in those niches too, but also expanding to other niches. So very very involved with events for sure.
Have you guys tried doing something with interactive content like uh, quizzes, calculators, or anything that's interactive, two-way?
So are you asking if we do that for our
Or since you
clients?
said, yeah.
Not that much. We are more focused on PR, content marketing, and SEO. However, I agree that um, interactive content, or immersive content, or that kind of stuff is getting very big now. So we also do reputation management. So we're more focused on delivering news, but or links, or increasing branding or reputation, or social presence. But we're not really a creative
Mhm.
studio. So this
Mhm.
is something we're looking to do, or to maybe integrate in our offering. And I think it's getting bigger and bigger. So maybe we'll end up doing something with that.
Okay. So to get to the next question, it is, so from your LinkedIn profile, we saw that you majored in psychology, and we've
Right.
heard so much about how psychology is key when it comes to modern marketing, and how the foundations of marketing, especially after the Second World War, are kind of laid in psychology. So what do you think you bring from that discipline to your field?
Um, I think when understanding how how the buying cycle works, maybe understanding how people make decisions, um, and trying to influence that, or trying to implement that in our clients' campaigns. So just mapping out some touch points about what could work for this specific client, understanding the persona that behind it, and how it makes how he or she makes the decisions, and maybe help with that. Obviously, it's good to know for conversations, or for just for like random I don't know, meetings, or closing clients, or understanding um, how things work in general. But yeah, I would say that you know common sense also is good enough. Like if someone is thinking about entering this niche, and he doesn't need to be a major in psychology to make it work. It's just like an added bonus maybe. yeah, it does give
Mhm.
some insights, let's say.
I mean, I
Okay.
agree. I think studying psychology also gives us some crucial insight into the exponential rise of Instagram influencers and influencer marketing in general. I mean, the whole idea being that people are, prepared to change their decision making to fit in with the views of their role models, or that they're more likely to listen to and to, believe the recommendations if they're coming from people that they actually like. And
Right.
I mean, which brings me to my next question. With the rise of Instagram influencers, I think even reputation management has become such a big industry. So, Nadav, could you, as someone who's very experienced in this field, how do you think that the rise of Instagram itself has changed or affected in reputation management?
Right. So as you said, the rise of like influencers on social networks, um, they have a lot of power, and many people look up to them and just do whatever they say, whether it's a product recommendation or an action like that they're requesting to do. So many people, it has a big weight in a reputation management campaign. So a part of that was, I mean, in our blueprints for campaigns, we also always try to map those influencers that are, let's say, tightly related to the niche of our client, and making them or trying to have them on board and either co-market with us or work with us to some extent, really depending on the KPI. But I think the weight is now really shifting more from websites, like to answer your questions, like, and maybe more in the powers of some, let's say, personal influencers, or like maybe a combination of both. So I think this is something brands should really pay attention to. Um, and it's the case with Gillette and Nike, which you referring to, uh, before. It's something they've tried to do. So yeah, so big weight. I think big weight. It's a really growing niche, and I think has more room to grow as well.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think
And
it's
do you think?
really, yeah, I'm sorry, please go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I mean, I was just agreeing with Nadav that I think that it's really appeals, especially to a younger generation, a generation which is very aware of the power of advertising and
Right.
marketing in society.
Yeah, and it's also very hard to very hard to differentiate. I mean, depending on the channel, between something that could be a promotion or something that just could be a regular tweet or an Instagram post. So some of these look very native, and people really follow these people like they're their idols in some situations.
Mm.
So yeah, so you know, this could be a
So a
very
lot
very
of time
effective.
yeah. So I was just going to say that a lot of time the influencers try to promote a product in the least obvious way that they won't actually, you can't see they're promoting. I guess the best promotion would be when you cannot tell that they were paid to do this or something, right?
Right,
So that it
right.
has to come like naturally, or it has to be subtly placed in the post or like something like that. So besides Instagram, do you think that where else do you think there's an exponential rise of influencers? Would you say
Uh,
Twitter or Reddit or?
Yeah, so Twitter definitely has been the case for lots of years. One place where I don't know if really to call it influencers, but you nailed it. Reddit is a huge source
Mm,
of traffic, really, and you have some very influential people there. Most of them are, you don't even know who they are, but you just know that this is a very important account, maybe because Reddit, in most situations,
mhm,
you don't know the people behind it, as opposed to Twitter or Facebook or Instagram. But we found that, I mean, we are very active with Reddit, and we've found that Reddit is hands down, for us at least, the biggest traffic source. It's less about reputation in that case, and more like attention grabber or a viral type of uh, engagement, let's say. But yeah, very very important. Also, Pinterest is also interesting. Also, you
mhm,
know, for certain niches at least, maybe more lifestyle. Often neglected, by the way,
Yeah.
mhm.
and not for a good reason, I think.
we tend to have very fluctuating numbers from Pinterest. One month they're like really
Yeah,
high, and another month they're like really low.
Yeah.
So we're not sure what's happening there. But yeah, it's definitely a place to go
we're
to.
just
Because what
figuring
I
it
feel with
out as we
influencers, yeah, but I feel with influencers as well that they also need to have like knowledge of what they're doing or like be an expert in their field before they promote a product. So it's like kind of a recommendation from the influence as well. And so it's funny in Reddit because, as you're saying, they're just anonymous people. You don't even know who they are or what it is. But I guess the username itself is famous, so that builds into that. So yeah,
Right. I mean,
it's an interesting field.
you have some stats you can gather about a Reddit user. Maybe
Mhm.
is right. Is not as uh, open as other social platforms, but yeah, you can follow certain people, and they really make a big impact. And there are very cool. By the way, YouTube. We never really mentioned YouTube lately, but YouTube is
Yeah,
huge.
yeah,
Maybe the
yeah.
biggest, right?
yeah.
But
Mhm.
you can actually Google some very interesting um, videos on YouTube. And for example, the story of Shroud, the king of Reddit, is a very nice one. You can take a look at. So that's very interesting. I think kind of
Okay,
shows you the world of
we'll check
Reddit.
it out.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Okay. Uh, so let's move on to the next question, which is, so what's the one hack you would recommend to our audience regarding online reviews, since that's what Inbound Junction does as well?
I mean, yeah, it's one thing we do. So you're asking how does a startup or any kind of product lands more positive
Well, what's the
reviews? And
one?
I yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, one hack you'd recommend regarding online reviews. So, uh, yeah,
Yeah,
so
so
how can they get more reviews or good
How
reviews
to
maybe
or
deal with bad ones, maybe
yeah.
anything.
So one thing that's important to be visible. I mean, it's let's differentiate, I guess, to influencers and like to maybe reviews websites. Like, for example, you can look at something like G2 Crowd, and
Mm,
uh, and that's a very important one for when people choose vendors or products, for example. So one thing I would do is I would really enhance my presence on platforms like G2 Crowd, um, and make sure that ratings there is good, because it's a very important platform. And once you're able to crack it, uh, it's uh, it's a great source of traffic, and it also makes people like sway towards you if you have better rankings than your competitor. Or you can talk about online reviews with influencers. You can talk about niche blogs, doing a review of your post straight up, or a how-to guide. So there's many things to do, and there's many other websites like G2 Cloud, for example. So yeah, maybe that's what
mhm.
I would focus on. Product Hunt is
Yeah, but
very
like, how
interesting
do you,
too.
which one?
Product Hunt is nice. It's not an
Oh, yeah,
actual
Product Hunt
review,
as
but
well.
it's
Yeah,
almost like a
yeah.
review if you think about it. If you are
Hmm.
succeeding with your hunt promotion, then you end up with a lot of clout, which is equally as important.
Yeah, on Google, if you post a product on Product Hunt and then you go search it on Google, Product Hunt actually in the display, it shows like stars, how much it
Exactly.
rated on Product Hunt. So you can see like 4.5 stars this product got on. But one question we had was, how does the owner of a company convince his clients to actually go to G2 Crowd and leave a review? Because what is the incentive? Like, how do you get them there in the first place?
Yeah. So that's a harder question. You would need to have a lot of user base, like
Mm,
for asking happy clients, but you can also maybe incentivize them in a way. You could offer them discounts. You could offer them to include tools in their let's say that they're enrolled on some version of your product or your SaaS or whatever,
mm,
and you can offer them in exchange for some kind of social promotions. You can incentivize them with more
mm,
features or a discount or
Mm.
some kind of perk. So this is one thing maybe people could try and do. You So that's the, if you're looking for a quick hack, maybe that's my best answer, because you make other people work for you. And by the way, we were talking about before is there's nothing more powerful than like a more organic type of campaign, right? So if you have people who are actually happy with what you're providing and you're giving them a perk, they might even be happy to do that for you. And this can
Yeah.
also be like fire in a field. So it's could be viral platforms like Instagram, Facebook, whatever.
Mhm. Yeah, because in Outgrow we have tons of templates that allow you to collect feedback from your customers and incentivize it by offering them, I don't know, like an Amazon voucher or something in return, or a product discount or something. So for our clients who are listening to this, you can actually check out an Outgrow template section. There are tons of ways in which you can use interactive content to get your audience to actually go and leave reviews for you. So do that, check that out. All right, Anushka, do you want to ask the next question?
Yes, please. I mean, I just want us to start talking about the Nike advert now. Um, Nada,
Oh, is
what
that? Oh,
would be
yeah.
your
Oh,
overall
yeah.
assessment? Yes, Nada, what would be your overall assessment of the advert itself and the reaction that followed?
So for which one?
The
I'm talking
Nike
about the
one.
Nike ad.
So Nike ad was the one with the NFL player, right? Yeah,
Yes,
Colin
the,
Kaepernick,
Colin.
yeah.
right. And it actually, I mean, I think they knew pretty well what they're going into. I mean, this is something they really thought about before doing
Mhm.
that. And I think it sparked a lot of controversy because some people just didn't agree with Colin's like defiance, let's say. Some people actually loved it. So um, I don't know. You know how they say every marketing campaign, even like bad press is good. You know how they say that. I,
All press is good
I,
press. Yeah.
so I don't know if I agree with that
There's no such
100%.
thing as bad press, yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
exactly. So I don't
Yeah.
know if I agree 100%, but I mean it did spark a lot of discussion, and just as a lot of people were burning Nike shoes, then I read online that many people actually buying more and really supporting that. So I don't know. In my opinion, it was a huge decision, but I don't know. I don't know if that campaign was good or bad for them. I guess you can check about that, but for me, I think the
Maybe.
the ad
Yeah.
the ad was really good. I think it's a lot of good ads, a lot of good segments in the ad. That was the only part that people were complaining about. But what are you? So you're trying to ask me if I think it was a good decision, basically?
Would you recommend one of your reputation management clients to do an
Uh,
advert like this?
um, it's a, yeah, it's a very good question. It would have to really be. It would really have to be about, what's the niche and how's the competition look like. Um, it's not even. I wouldn't say it's even a reputation management issue. Like to create something like this, it's more like
Mhm.
dealing with the aftermath, right? So now Nike, like post the after the Nike had to do some reputation management, but this is more like a PR stunt for me or a PR campaign. But if I was, I don't know, this is something completely different than what we usually do. Um, so not sure about that. Not sure if I would like initiate something like that. Let's say.
Well, okay, assuming that you had a client who went and did this and it didn't go well. Well, Nike's was you can't tell whether it went well or not because there was like strong emotions on either side of the debate.
Exactly. It was
But
very
assuming it
polarized.
was like
No, but I read,
100%, yeah,
no, yeah. I mean, I read that their stock prices they dipped when the ad was initially released, but they really skyrocketed after that. And I mean, it got people talking about them, right? It's even if
Yeah.
it sparked controversy, people were talk like it really got people talking.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, they make shoes, right? So, like, doesn't really matter, like for me at least. And if you actually
Yeah.
take a look at their stock, it doesn't really have a big difference. Like if you like stretch it towards a couple years now, it's the trend is maintaining itself exactly as it was, almost exactly. So I mean, they make shoes, so if you're burning your shoe, I guess I don't agree with how you think, but just I guess everyone to each to his own, I guess.
Well, so assuming a campaign goes bad, what would be your remedy for this client? So, so they made something, it was really bad, they had to apologize. Well, would you,
Right.
well, I guess the apology also comes from reputation management, but how do you bury that news in, other stuff about the company? How do you go about doing that?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So, with this specific case, maybe I'll just speak in general because this specific case is not something you can bury. You can only
Yeah.
address, you can only address it or comment but in many situations you can actually bury. So the way that we do it, of course, we don't help any client. It really depends what they need. Like if we're not helping convicted murderers here, right? So we wouldn't take any case, but the case that we feel we should take, we have a hybrid approach in which we kind of integrate PR and content marketing campaign to spread and create good assets or good news that will grab a lot of real estate in Google for the keywords that we're targeting. So one method is creating good news and good assets. The second thing that we involve in a campaign is to, let's say, upgrade existing good assets. So, for example, in many situations, there's already great coverage for our clients in magazines, or they have a good social profile pages or whatnot, and we can literally move them up the search. And I'm talking from an SEO standpoint now, and we're able to push them up, so they also grab more real estate into search. So what happens is you're creating good coverage, which grabs a lot of room in SERPs, and then you're pushing SERPs, like search engine ranking positions, upwards when they were maybe a bit behind. And there is a way to also like make bad articles disappear completely. And I'll just talk about it a little bit because it's very complicated technically. So Google actually has a TOC. They have a TOC for content. So when you badmouth someone, or when you slander, or I don't know, whether you don't really abide by their extremely long TOC, you can actually ask Google to de-index a page, or you can turn to a hosting provider or whatever. It's a very, very technical process. So you can also make bad stuff go away. So that's also one thing. So I guess with that approach of creating good, let's say making bad disappear and also pushing neutral stuff up, then in most situations that creates a very good combined effect, and we're really able to kind of clean or remedy a case with some bad coverage. So this is how we do it, at least.
Because I was wondering with the GDPR thing, because they have this, well, in essence, the right to be forgotten. I was wondering whether this helps you in actually deleting stuff from people who have, or like websites who have published something about you. Can you do that? Is the GDPR in any way helpful for your reputation management business?
I can't be. I mean, I haven't seen a big difference. I haven't really looked into that, to be honest. It's a good question. Not sure.
Okay, all right. Anushka, you want to ask the next question? Oh, okay, it's me actually. What about the Gillette AdWord? The one in which they're like, "Is this what makes a man? Oh, men can be better."
Yeah, I actually didn't like this one myself, because I was finding. I mean, I think that this is like the perpetual discussion, between men and women, and I think you have to hold a double standard, right? So think about if they would make an ad that were focused on how, I don't know, how women are, doing gold digging and nagging or something like that, it would, have very bad reputation, right? And in the ad, they were talking about how, or they was like hinting that men are very powerful and aggressive towards women, that kind of stuff. But some parts of the ad were like completely fine, or being weirded out. So I know a lot of men really didn't like that, just because of the double standard, and that's kind of like being voided in this situation. So yeah, I don't think they did a very good job. And also, at the end of the day, Gillette is that they sell, amongst other things, they sell the, you know like shaving, right? Like
Razor
razors,
blades, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, razor blades. And I don't need them to, to talk about how to be a gentleman, right? It's just like, for me, it kind of missed the mark. So I don't know. I specifically didn't like that, and I know many people also didn't find this ad very, let's say, on theme or thematic to
Mm.
what Gillette should talk about or should do in the ad. Um, but okay, I guess I don't know.
but
I guess
Well, I
I
guess
guess
from a
this one.
marketing perspective, where
I
go
mean,
ahead.
isn't like wouldn't masculinity be a huge part of Gillette's brand? And I mean, do you think that Gillette was maybe, trying to cater to an audience which believes that it's no longer enough for brands to simply sell a product? Because I know that the customers today, they demand that, brands have a purpose, that they stand for something. So maybe do you think that was what Gillette was trying to tap into
Yeah, of
with the
course,
ad?
of course, that was what they're trying to go for. I agree with you that there is some tying to masculinity, maybe, but just like, I think the ad didn't really portray what they wanted to go. I mean, or some, I don't know, just um, didn't really portray what they were trying to go for. Instead, like, the ad was very sexist to men. That's the bottom line. As I was telling about, is um, it's like an ad where women like are being, you know portrayed in that similar way, would have even more backlash, I think. So just because of that, like, you gotta hold things like that to it's a double-edged sword or a double standard. So I don't know. I just think that they didn't do a good job. But I agree with you that with the whole, um, tying Gillette to masculinity, maybe is something that you should have in the back of your mind, because it's more cool. Or maybe I need the razors to be more manly or whatever. But just this one missed the mark. But they did a very good job in a lot of others, I think.
And I'm just going to move on to the next question.
Yeah,
Um,
shoot.
so you've been doing content marketing for companies for a while now, and I would just love to hear your thoughts regarding the future of content marketing. I mean, especially the future of static content like ebooks or landing pages. I mean, in today's fast-paced millennial age, does long-form content work as well as it used to?
Yeah, I think it's a really good question. It's also a matter of, works in what way. So maybe we should also look at it for, let's say, um, a little bit for the SEO prism, and a little bit about, let's say, the more branding and traffic building mindset. So the fact of the matter is
Okay.
that Google is, and people also, they tend to like, more and more. They tend to like personalized and interactive stuff, and this is something that we're seeing rapidly. And I think content marketing is affected by that. And I think, uh, I think companies have to start thinking about doing all kinds of immersive content campaigns, maybe, like having, um, ex- people experience and touch their brands through content, like VR
Yeah.
and AR and that kind of stuff. And that's really really growing a lot. And I think, for example, you have the Trivago case, how they like really changed their website to become more like a mobile app if you know what I'm talking
Hmm.
about. The
Yeah.
progressive web apps, I think it's called, and that's one a good example. And just in general, I think uh, people have less time to read. There's so much content. Also, it's
Yeah,
very
exactly.
competitive, and with the short attention span that you have to do so many things, I think there's more weight to people for campaigns that are actually interactive video is pretty cool. They just released one with Black Mirror. I don't know if you saw that one.
I mean, I
Um,
haven't seen it yet, but
yeah,
I
it's really
will
cool.
now.
It's a growing trend also, and yeah, I think again, this is the next revolution. I think with content, and I think
Yeah.
definitely people should look into that. I think it's a very good medium for me.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, of course, I agree with you that static content, it is important in its own way, but then, there's a reason why one of New York Times best-selling content was actually a quiz, or maybe if you look at the success
Right,
that BuzzFeed quizzes have had. So
right,
yeah, I
right.
do think
But
that the future holds a lot of
calculators,
interactive.
yeah, all the yeah,
Yeah,
calculators and quizzes
yeah,
and interactive maps
yeah,
and
just
things
think,
like that.
yeah. Yeah, things that are engaging. And I mean, another advantage with them is that they're just inherently viral. So from a marketing perspective, they're also really good for your brand because they can go viral and they
Exactly.
help with conversions much more than like a blog post would do.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
they do have good value, right? Long form content and just news and articles. Most
yeah,
people, a lot of people still like very much engage with them, and that's 80 90% of what we do. But also one thing
for
that you have to talk about is the fact that still Google really likes these blog posts or these long form content, and they have a different purpose. Like everything else serves a different purpose. I think it's just about knowing how to combine them is the real challenge or the real expertise, I would say. And in some situations it's more right to do
yeah.
this kind of media campaign. In some situations more makes more sense to do a very thorough landing page and make it rank in Google, or spread some
Hmm.
PR to top tier. It's really different. But I agree with you that content, let's say 2.0, is including these things for sure. And we are also doing this kind of stuff so already. So yeah, I think that's the next big thing. So maybe I'll just finalize by saying that we spoke a little bit about how important it is, and I'm basically agree that I think that let's say 2.0 version of content is definitely has to include some elements like interactive videos and VR and progressive web apps that we talked about. So we are already. I mean, content marketing gets very crowded now. Many brands are writing long form content and sending news and everything, and it's super important still. Maybe has the most weight in the equation, but I think you gotta spot those situations where you can do some kind of say more creative approach, kind of like what I was telling before with Black Mirror when they released the Netflix episode, if you saw that one. And
Bandersnatch, yeah.
Bandersnatch,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly
Yeah.
this one. And
Oh, see, I'm back in the conference.
you were probably like screaming before when you were muted. Yes, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's important. I think you got to spot these opportunities and make some kind of promotion uh, or a campaign that will make people remember you. And this is what many have actually succeeded with doing that. But it doesn't come at the expense, I think, of natural and normal, let's say, content marketing comes more on top for me. So yeah,
Mm.
I think super important, and I think the trend will just keep growing, and with VR and everything and AR, and get bigger and bigger. I think.
Because that's what I was saying in relation to, before I got cut off, in relation to the Nike and Gillette advertisements. It's they're kind of an old form of marketing that's being used in a new age, because what they're trying to do is make controversial stuff to get attention, whereas what they could also really be doing is make interactive, fun stuff to get
Or
attention
or
at the same time. Like,
personalized, Or personalized. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
personalized, highly
exactly.
personalized, which you can do with interactive marketing, really to an extent where you can get into see how a particular product fits your customer, to a very personal level. So instead of doing that, they're using this kind of old method. I think of it as like a rather traditional method of marketing that is being used here. So that's the contrast I just
I
wanted
think
to point
they
our
both
attention
have
to. Yeah.
they both have room, right?
Mm.
But you just need to
Mm.
have a good ratio, I guess, between them.
Yeah. Yeah,
Gotta innovate and
definitely.
stuff. Yeah.
Cool. So,
Yeah.
speaking of which, the last question is, how frequently do you think one should put out content, or one should blog, or?
Yeah. Um, I think um, I think it really depends, right? So if you're a brand like HubSpot or I don't know, Expedia or Nike even, then you have
Mm.
to put out a lot of content. But if you're a startup that is just starting out, then and you have limited resources, maybe, then you don't have to do as much. It's also depending on which type of content. So, is it, market education? Are you in a niche that you have a product, but you're kind of trying to educate your buyers to even understand they need you? So
Mm.
you first do that kind of content, and then like why my solution? Or are you in a market where you have tons of competition and you need to stand out, so you need to do a lot
Mm.
of content? So I think it's a bit too generalized to give like one size fits all answer. So but I can tell you that at least in terms of again, I'm putting on the SEO prism for a second. uh, Google likes a lot of content, and that's important. You have to grab as much again real estate as you can with the search, but also in terms of PR and hype. Content could be even a Reddit promotion in some situation. It could be a blog post, it could be a product review. So obviously my my initial reaction would be as much as you can afford, or as much as your resources enable you to do.
Okay.
So, but it also depending which kind and how much competition, what niche. But yeah, in most situation, the more you do, the more rewarded you are if you're doing good stuff, not stuff that could backfire on you. So if Gillette and Nike
Mm.
continue doing these kind of campaigns, maybe not the best decision.
Yeah,
I guess I don't
that's
know.
like once in a generation campaign from Nike.
Yeah.
The advertising team is going to be silent for the next generation. But yeah. Because as Anushka was mentioning earlier, in Outgrow, like if you're a marketing agency, Outgrow has like a calculator template that takes into account how different in like at what rate different industries are producing content, at what rate depending on your company's size, what you do, and then it gives you a general estimate of how much content people like you or like companies like you are producing. Do you want to talk about that, Anushka?
Yeah, I
The
mean,
blogging frequency calculator is called? Yeah.
that's what it's called. And so I mean, this just ties into how interactive content, if like it's so personalized that it can give you an answer, like, and really answer like a pain point which people want to know the answer to. So the calculator, what it does is it helps content creators estimate how frequently they should blog. And it just does so well because it's a question that everyone wants an answer to. So this is why interactive content is important, because it's personalized and just effective.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's very effective method. I think everyone should take a look at something like this.
Yeah, so I
Sure.
think
Yeah.
that is the last question that we had. Did we have? Okay, I had like one question that I. This is
Okay.
like a question I thought I might ask, but I actually didn't include it. But since we are here, so it says, well, I was actually reading interviews about you, and it says you were a poker player once upon a time.
Yeah,
I believe
unfortunately.
marketing is also. So I believe marketing is also a bit of a fake it till you make it game with a high risk. So how do you think? What do you bring from poker to marketing?
Yeah, it's kind of like this. It reminds me of the psychology one question. So it's really this. It's really the same. What I didn't like about that you can be very good, but you can lose and lose. So that didn't really work for me. but I mean, at least I think I was. I'm not sure, but a lot of people that I know actually are very good at that, and they have a career. But I think it's yeah. I mean, maybe it's a little bit of what you said, fake it until you make it, but it's more like just understanding how people reach decisions. I guess it's something you can
Mm,
take with you, because when you do a campaign to help a client, they have a KPI behind, which is often around how do I get people to buy my product, for example. So if you kind of think with them about the journey that the customer is doing and kind of like understand how decisions are being made, maybe that could give you a small edge.
mhm.
But I can't credit anything uh, for my poker days, because I did live this niche eventually. So, but yeah, I guess it kind of helps in a way.
Yeah, it was just interesting because when I read about this, I don't know, in some interview, and then I went and saw the everything that your company does, and to me it felt like, oh, this kind of makes sense with psychology and poker and everything, like,
Uh-huh.
reputation management or having a poker face or something like that. But yeah, that was great.
Cool, I appreciate.
Yeah.
Anushka, do you have any other questions?
Nope, that's about it from my end.
All right,
Cool.
so I guess we'll wrap it up
Yeah.
and do some heavy editing later.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
Well, it was really nice talking to you
Same here.
and
Same
having you
here.
here for our
Yeah.
Marketer of the Month program. And
Thank you
hopefully
for
we'll
taking
keep in
that
touch.
time, sir.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and hopefully we'll keep in touch and you will get down to exploring more interactive marketing options.
100%.
But yeah,
100%. Yeah, it was really nice, guys. Appreciate.
so that was Nadav Dakner, the CEO of InboundJunction. Do check out their website for more details, and we'll see you once again next month with another Marketer of the Month. So stay tuned.